Hi, my name is Brendan, and today I'm going to talk to you about Canadian flags, and I'm going to rank them on their awesomeness. We're going to rank all these provincial and territorial flags that you see in front of you here, 1 to 13, but we're not just going to use my opinion. I'm going to have something to guide me here, some criteria based on Roman Mars' TED Talk about flag design, and in his TED Talk, he uses Ted K of the North American Vexillological Association's book, Good Flag, Bad Flag, on what makes a good flag. So, we want to have our flags fairly simple, nothing too complex that's hard to read. We want to use meaningful symbolism so that our flags actually represent what they set out to represent. We want 2 to 3 colors, okay? And we don't want any lettering or seals. Please, no lettering or seals. This is going to become very important later. We'll see. And then we want to be distinctive or related. One of the two. Okay, here we go. This is, in my opinion, Canada's #1 flag, Newfoundland and Labrador. This is an incredible flag. I didn't have it first when I started this list, but then I looked into it, and it's definitely first. So the left side is the Union Jack. I think that connection is pretty clear. But then the right side, the two red triangles, represent Newfoundland and Labrador, the two parts of this province. Okay, next we have the colors. We have the blue for the water, the white for the snow and ice. We're going to see the snow and ice and the water a lot in Canadian flags. We love it. The red is for the struggle of the people. It's amazing. And then the very right-hand side, we have this yellow sword. It's a sword. And it symbolizes the Newfoundland Regiment and the military and the sacrifices that they have made, which I think is a huge symbol because Newfoundland, especially, has had a very tragic military history. So the next really cool thing about this flag is that it was designed in 1980 by a fellow by the name of Christopher Pratt, who was a Newfoundland artist and not the guy in Jurassic World. Interesting nonetheless. And the last thing that sets this flag apart is that the 3 points on the right-hand side come together to form a trident to represent the wealth of the sea. It's like you have Poseidon sitting on the end of your flag. Oh. Number 2 is Nunavut. So we have the colors, yellow, white, blue, brown. They represent land, sea, snow, ice, water. We're going to, like I said, see this a bajillion times. But the Inukshuk in the middle is an Inuit symbol that was to guide Inuit hunters. And that's really awesome. We don't see that anywhere else on any Canadian flags. We have the North Star to guide the elders in the community. And then this flag is really unique because out of all Canada's flags, except for the Northwest Territories, there is no flag, besides the Northwest Territories and Nunavut, that don't have old British or French stuff on them. So Nunavut's is really original. It's really unique, which is why I put it second, ahead of Quebec's. And Quebec's is great. It could have been second as well. It was a toss-up. I love Quebec's flag. It has a simple design, and we have this sort of hearkening back to the royal French flags with these fleur-de-lis, but at the same time, it's unique. These fleur-de-lis on Quebec's flag are white, which represents purity, and blue, which represents heaven, and it's a great flag. It's a great flag. Nova Scotia's is next. I think Nova Scotia's is pretty straightforward, but that's what makes it a good flag. It's St. Andrew's Cross, flag of Scotland. Makes sense for a province called, New Scotland. Except the colors are just reversed, as you can see. And then they have the shield of Scotland, the royal arms of Scotland with a lion and a fleur-de-lis. And, they just sort of, you can see what they did there, right? Okay, great. It's a good, really good flag. Thank you, Nova Scotia, for that. New Brunswick. Oh, this one is really conflicting for me. because it has so many details that I think, can you see that when it's waving on a flagpole 100 feet away? Maybe not really, but it just looks so cool. And so you have this lion, which is for Brunswick, which is in Germany, which was under the control at the time of King George III of England. And King George III also has a lion as a symbol on his crest. And so we have double symbolism in the lion. Cool. Then the ship represents shipbuilding and dependence on the sea in New Brunswick. Both pretty huge there. Okay, Saskatchewan. Saskatchewan's, it's got a seal on it. We also have on the right-hand side this western red lily, which is the official flower of Saskatchewan. So that's cool, I think. The best part, I think, is just the green at the top representing forests, and then at the bottom representing southern Saskatchewan, the wheat fields. So that's basically what the flag is there. Trees in the north, wheat in the south. It's great. Saskatchewan in a nutshell. I love it. British Columbia. So British Columbia has the sun on their flag. It is setting because British Columbia, as you can see, is in the west, and that is where the sun sets. So makes a great deal of sense. Now we have the Union Jack and a crown, which is taken from the 1906 provincial arms. Now, originally, they wanted to have the sun on top of the Union Jack, but somebody came along and said, whoa, 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 the sun never sets on the British Empire. So they had to reverse it. I think it could have looked like this, which I think is a dynamite flag. I guess it depends on what you think. I don't know. They're probably the same. Next, we have Prince Edward Island. So Prince Edward Island has a lion on top because of this guy, Prince Edward, for whom the island is named. He's the father of Queen Victoria, which is why he gets a whole island named after him. And this is his arms, which features a couple of lions, which is why the lion is up there. But we also have some trees, and they're a little bit detaily, which is why I think Prince Edward's is a little bit down the list in the top flags. We have one big oak tree representing England, and it's watching over these three smaller oak trees, which are the counties of Prince Edward Island. So, good symbolism, just a little bit too detaily for my taste, but overall, great job, Prince Edward Island. And then Ontario. So, in 1965, when Canada adopted the Canadian maple leaf, which we know and love today, Ontario said, but we like the red ensign. So they just kept it for themselves, and instead of having Canada's crest, they have their own crest here on their flag. This is what the red ensign looked like, just so you know. Fair enough. Manitoba basically did the same thing, took the red ensign, and put their own shield on there. Great. Next, the Northwest Territories. Almost really good flag. The biggest problem, again, it's just the seal right in the middle. Okay, so we have the snow, ice, water, as we've seen before. Great. On the left side of the shield, we have green for the forests. That's cool. The yellow is for the minerals. We have the tree line right through the diagonal of the shield, and then we have the tundra represented in red. Great. Next, at the very top, we have this wavy line that represents the Northwest Passage, a huge part of Canada's history and the Northwest Territories' history, which I think is great symbolism. This flag is chopped full of symbolism, and I love it, except I wish that it was more compressed, or they just chose a couple and went with that, because, but great. Alberta. Oh, Alberta. So, I'm from Alberta, so I'm allowed to hate on it a little bit. It's like, there's a shield right in the middle of the flag. It's a good shield. It's a great shield. We have the wheat fields, and we have the plains or the prairies, and it kind of looks like a river. It's questionable, but Sure. And then we have the foothills and the mountains and the sky, and it's like you're peering across the entirety of Alberta in one image, and that is cool. And then we have, St. George's Cross for the English history. Sure, okay. But, I mean, if you're looking at it from 100 feet away and it looks like this, you don't know how cool it is. And then you're sad. And it might as well be this. Which, I mean, arguably is better. Okay. Finally, the Yukon. So, snow, ice, water, blue, white, trees, forests, green. But the great tragedy of this flag is that all this really rich symbolism is in this tiny seal where we can't see it. And so we have the mountains, these red peaks, and then inside of them there are these yellow circles that represent the gold rush, which is a huge part of Yukon's history, the Klondike. Then we have rivers, and we have fur, and England, all wrapped up together in there. I think they need to choose a couple of those and go with them. So this has been Canada's provincial and territorial flags ranked 1 to 13. Let me know what you think. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Just to let you know, the North American Vexillological Association ranked all the flags in North America state, provincial, territorial. Quebec's came in 3rd place, and I'll put a link to that down below. Canada, we have some awesome flags. So let's keep that up. Thanks so much, everybody, for watching. Take it easy.